Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mission for Fishing. Welcome to part number 2 of the Bass Tracker restoration. Now, if you guys missed the first video in this series, we basically been ripping it apart. We've been getting it ready to, well, completely redo. It's been appropriately nicknamed the Tracker because it smells, well, like. If you guys missed the first episode, I would highly recommend going back and rewatching that because that'll get you all caught up. But if you're impatient and you don't want to, basically what we have here is we have the gutted boat. We removed all the foam, we refoamed it, and in today's episode, we're going to be trying to get decking in and kind of fitted. We're going to try to be getting the frame done. It should span about a week's time. We have 3 weeks to get this boat done. I got my old man with me today again, and we are going to be, well, putting this thing back together. Today's agenda is put the subfloor in. We carpeted this in the last episode. That should be ready to get thrown into here, into the boat, screwed down. Without further ado, let's get today's video kicked off and let's start cracking away at her. 5 days since I saw you last. The last 3 days I haven't been able to get a chance to get over here and actually work on the boat because I've been working. We did get the subfloor in though. My dad suggested a really awesome way of how to frame out one of the ribs that they hacked here. It is rock solid now. Today we're over here, it's my day off, and we are going to try to knock out framing today. So after thinking for the past couple of days, I think the best move, get everything all situated going from the back forward, and then we can kind of figure out what we can do up here. I'd love to use the pre-existing attachment points to the hull because these are really riveted in there with these nice big sturdy rivets here. We just have to figure out where we draw the lines at certain things. So yeah, so I for sure want a rod locker. That's the existing rod locker and I kind of wanted to save it. Love that it's kind of in a spot where it's out of the way and it's would be somewhat easy to get to, but it's just so darn narrow. Yeah, let's start framing this thing out. So, the last hour, basically, I have spent cleaning this gas tank up. I also spent time removing all of this hardware that was screwed onto the sides of the boat. I got all that stuff taken off, and like you can see where they missed a bunch of holes, or they had something mounted here at one point. I mean, this whole thing is just Swiss cheesed with screwed holes. So, no stainless steel hardware, no stainless steel staples, steel pieces, aluminum pieces, steel rivets, aluminum rivets, Phillips head, flathead, combo pan heads, different sized washers. Like it is, this boat is such people I tell you. We got a lot to do. We got a lot to do. We don't have a lot of time to do, so let's get to working here. I have one earplug. There is no going back once I do this step, so hopefully this works out. What's happening, baby? Whoa, I didn't know it did that. O'clock. It's quitting time for today. Yeah, basically what we did today, I'm not sold on it and I'm actually not liking it at all. So earlier today, you guys watched me on camera, I actually split this side support in half with the jigsaw. I put the bottom back on, I cut it flush. That I'm planning on carpeting for the inside hatch. I basically pushed this out about 4.5 inches from where it was. So what that did is that kind of shifted everything a little to the side. You can see the side co-angler is a little closer to you, so I don't really like that. I'd love it if the rod locker was like a little bit forward or something, but because of where it is and bumping into the co-angler spot, there's not much I can do. This is also shifting the gas tank over to that side, which isn't a huge deal necessarily. But since you're moving both the co-angler and the gas tank over to one side, on top of the side that the captain's sitting on, I think it's going to get a little tippy to that side. So all that work I did today, I might have to end up redoing, which sucks. I also broke my jigsaw. This little Performax brand thing, don't buy it. It's junk. Garbo. It came with a metal blade, so it should be able to cut aluminum. It's very soft metal, but evidently not. So I don't know. I'm gonna hit some design software. I'm gonna start CADing some stuff up. Catch you guys when I make it back over here tomorrow. And just like that, problem is fixed and solved. So slept on it, sent a prayer up to the man upstairs. I'm guessing the prayer wasn't super high up on the big boy's list of things to tackle, but nonetheless, we got it figured out, and I think this is gonna work out pretty good. So let's explain what's going on here. So I ran a time lapse of me doing this because, well, to be honest, I really just needed to get this done. The last time you guys saw this hatch was way out here, and since then I have moved it back. But I have only moved about a little over 3 feet over. So now this is back. We got this shorter section here, so I just made a cut up here, and then used a piece of angle, kind of like this, and I just clamped it to the back and took a hammer and just beat it down. Got this nice sharp bend in the metal. I didn't want to do this too much because aluminum will work harden and it'll become brittle as you work with it really quick. So I only bent it once, so looks good. And I actually had to reattach it to this bottom plate that I cut it off. I just used some angled aluminum down there on the bottom, put a couple rivets in the bottom, put a couple rivets in the side, and this thing is so stout, way more stronger than how it was when it was up here. It's going to be a really good, solid, secure place to well, rivet some supports to. So I bent this out 90 degrees to kind of create this cockpit area. So this angled piece is riveted into the bottom of this face here, and then it's actually screwed into the ribs on the underside of the subfloor. We're just framing this in. This is a 12-gallon gas tank, huge tank, cleaned it up, got it in. Now it's finally starting to kind of come together. I really am kind of kicking myself for cutting this all the way through, but you know, what can you do? I didn't really know. I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna finish framing for the back deck. I'm not changing up anything with the back deck really. We are gonna be adding maybe some hatches in here or something. It's starting to hit, There's a lot to do. I don't have a ton of experience with framing out aluminum. I'm getting experience as I'm going, learning what works, learning what doesn't work. Alright, here's today's update. First off, an apology. Forgot my hat. If things look funny today, that's why. Anyways, it is New Year's Eve, so while most people are out having a good time, I am here getting kind of my dream boat out of this, so boat is an absolute mess. We've also figured out the layout of the rods, how the rods are going to interface, and we figured out the tackle and the other storage solution, so that's all great news. Last night, the big thing of what happened is we got the back all framed out, ready to go, basically for plywood. So we are actually going to cut the back deck. Hopefully going to be able to get the first layer of coat over everything tonight, and then we'll do the next coat tomorrow and hopefully get to carpeting tomorrow. If we can do that, the whole back deck, done. Don't have to worry about it. It'll all be good. We are going to have to figure out at some point what we're going to do with this huge tangled mess of wires. That's going to need to be addressed at some point in the near future. This is my holiday. Hope everybody's having a happy new year at home. And well, let's get back to the grind. Wear your safety glasses, kids. Whoa. I got something cut in my eye. It's been in here for like probably 10-15 minutes now. It happened off camera. I can't see out of my right eye. It's kind of gross though. I think it has got to be in my eyelid because every time I close my eye, oh. Okay, it's a new day. There's like 2 or 3 giant chunks of sawdust that came out of my eye this morning when I woke up. I was slightly visually impaired. A huge shout out to my mother for coming and helping me out. Anyways, now that we've addressed safety concern here. I've also sucked up all the dust that was created from yesterday. Kind of keep this a relatively dust low environment, at least as much as possible, because we are going to be painting 2. Last night we got 3 hatches cut, these 3 in specific. So this is the new layout for the back of the boat. I framed this out, and I don't know if I've showed the framing on camera yet, but this is going to be a big, huge battery access area this way. That fits good. So today's agenda is going to be get a live well hatch all cut. And then we're going to have these 2 hatches on the sides here. These are different sizes. This is like 13 by like 12 to get at. And this will be for like the co-angler. Coming along quite nicely. None of this was actually like really framed well. I'm noticing maybe it was framed better from the factory. But the live well is actually like bending under stress. The sides were actually bowing out, which was not good. So I added in these angled brackets here. This is 1/8 inch, 1.5 inch angled aluminum. It is rock solid. Like coming off the transom, it's steady to this, it's steady to this. And these are all tied into the hull with these massive factory rivets. So this thing is way, way, way stiffer than it ever was from the factory. So that is a huge upgrade. So that means that not only did we make it stronger, but we're also making it more functional, and we're gonna make it more accessible. So, I mean, it's kind of a win-win for the back deck here. So, let's get at it. Made some progress off camera, of which includes my sister coming over and painting the rest of these, the second coat. Shout out to you, Kate. Frame. I know I've been talking about it for a really long time, but finally I think it's going to get done today. I did do custom cut all 4 of these. These are going to be supports for the front deck, so these are all perfectly cut on a bandsaw. These are going to be all standoffs. I'm not going to explain the whole thing because I think more people are going to understand it when they see it. Let's go frame a boat. Got the main port done now. It's looking really, really good. So let me show you what we did here. So this is just some 1-inch tubing, 1/8 inch, 1-inch tubing. What I needed to do is I needed to raise this deck up 3 inches from the original deck. Wanted everything to be flush, even, level. Wanted it to be nice and continuous. So I had to raise this up about 3 inches. Now I can't just go ahead and get, you know, 3-inch angled aluminum. What I ended up doing is I ended up kind of constructing my own bulkhead looking thing, and it looks, I mean, that just looks amazing in my opinion. Basically, I took some 1-inch tubing, I cut it down on a bandsaw, and I made sure they were all exactly even. I riveted that actually into the back side here of this plate, so each one is riveted into the back side of that plate there. And this goes straight down and makes contact directly with the bottom of this stamped piece, because right underneath this piece is a main support to the hull of the boat, and this is the most stable part of the deck right here. In doing this, theoretically, all of my compressional load that I will be putting by standing on the deck up here, all of the compressional load will get sent directly through square tubing into that main rib that this floor is attached to the hull with. So I really kind of tried to look at the stress of everything and how much weight is actually going to be put on here before I just went ahead and started cutting up and doing whatever. So I'm guesstimating based on this structure, just this rib alone should be able to hold, I'm thinking, about 400 pounds. Nonetheless, that is just this rib. That's not including where we're going to be tying it out into the hull and into some of the other places as well, and into the floor. Now that it's in place, we can start dreaming and we can start, you know, getting creative with what we're thinking about doing here. So I needed a place to store rods. I had a big brain fart when I came to this whole side piece thing, so I had to redo everything that I was going to do. So the rods have to go somewhere. So the rods have been moved up here. Then we're going to have rod tubes going up to the front of the boat, kind of in the front there. The middle hatch here is going to be tackle trays. Over here we're going to have the factory little compartment here for the nav lights and whatnot. So that's going to stay. this is a good structural piece to tie on the front end, so I figured we'll keep this. Basically like legal reg stuff and all that, this is going to have a home right up here. I love having like the weird angled like opening door thing on boats. I don't know why, it's just, I don't know. I like it on the 12 footer, I kind of want to incorporate it on this thing, so that's the design. Got to get it done yet tonight, and then after that we still have to carpet yet, so we got a long list of stuff to do, and we don't have a lot of time to do it. It's day something working on this boat, so we're going to end today's video off. This is about as far as we made on the back deck last night. 2 pieces are not done, which actually worked out. We didn't quite give ourselves enough room here. These are all fitting really, really tight, so at least as far as this stage goes, I can rip a little bit off of these, and then I can paint them, carpet them. It'll be all good to go. It'll fit right, so that actually worked out pretty nice. So carpet, the hinges, everything all takes up more room than what I was anticipating, so this is a good way, so it will fit very nice. But yeah, so thanks for watching today's episode. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that bell icon. Let me know what you guys think of the current setup and the current rig. We've done a lot, but we still got a long ways to go. Mission of the day was to basically just get this thing, well, basically a little bit farther down the line. A few wrenches that were thrown in my plans with the holidays that came up, but nonetheless, we're still making strides, we're still having fun, and it's gonna be one sick boat when it's all said and done. So I would say that would be a mission complete.